Well, that's pretty much it for Rachel Zegler's Y2K, a movie that flopped worse than I even thought it would. I thought it would at least make a little bit of money because, I mean, the budget's only $15 million, and it didn't get much marketing. It probably only needs to make like 30 or 40 million for it to be a success. And I mean, these numbers, and we're going to go over them, are really bad. It shows you just how disposable Rachel Zegler really is, which is why it's just crazy that she's decided to tell people to not watch her movies, to attack people left and right. Really not the smartest idea. If she's so confident in her performance as Snow White, you think that she would just let that do the talking, and that will usually win people over if it's as good as she thinks she is. So Y2K already coming to streaming. That's bad. When a movie comes to streaming, literally like a week or two after it comes out, that's how you know things are not going very well over at the studio. This movie, like I said, I'm still shocked how much it's made. Which is just a couple $1 million. Rachel Zegler horror comedy Y2K continues downward spiral at box office. Is Disney Snow White drama to blame? Now, I do think that there was a factor there. I think that there was a little bit of a factor. There's also the factor that she has no star power at all. People don't like her. Because if I was wrong, where were all these people that defend her and say that she's the greatest thing ever? I mean, if you go to social media, I see Rachel Zegler Stan accounts, all kinds of stuff. Where were they? Must not be that big of a fan base. So let's take a look at this. Rachel Zegler continues to experience box office woes as her struggling horror comedy Y2K faced a massive 67% drop on its second weekend. When Y2K burst onto the scene, it earned a paltry $2.1 million, far less than anyone would expect from a movie featuring someone Hollywood has tried to position as a rising superstar. That scant $2.1 million opening looked like Avengers Endgame compared to what Zegler's film encountered in its second weekend. That's so right, though. Hollywood has really tried to prop her up as a rising superstar. They tried to make it sound like she's the next Marilyn Monroe. She's the next biggest actress Hollywood will ever see. And that's not happening, man. That's not happening. This shows you what happens when they push the wrong person. And she has a big ego. I've talked about this before. She's a mean girl. Go look at what she did to Gina Carano. That's who Rachel Zegler is. Coming in number 13 at the domestic box office. Keep in mind, that's for this past weekend, not last week. This is Saturday and Sunday of last week. 2 weeks ago is when this came out. So these are numbers for the 14th and the 15th. The movie came out on December 5th, I think is when it dropped. So a 67% drop from that. So coming in at number 13 at the domestic box office, Zegler's movie pulled in just $684,000. Or if you want to round up that 957, $685,000 on 1,948 screens. For comparison, it fell short of a re-release of the 1954 film White Christmas, which earned $1.1 million on 1,084 screens. A 70-year-old movie on nearly half as many screens nearly doubled Zegler's second weekend box office gross. It's wild to me that this movie fell this short. It's really, really amazing. think about all of the press that she gets. Like, this is a picture of her on Good Morning America. Okay, she makes all the rounds, all the interviews, press power, lots of articles praising her. The press is in her pocket. Well, not so much anymore. It seems like they've kind of turned on her just a little bit. So you really see where she's at from this movie. And now the real interesting question is, how does Snow White perform when it comes out next year? Disney has to be really worried about this. They got to be scared because they put a lot of money into that movie. That movie's budget is out of control. And her ass has no star power. If she did, she's flushed it down the toilet. And her popularity is non-existent. She's got nothing. This is another box office bomb for her, which she has a lot of, by the way. Just about every movie she's been in has been a box office bomb. Y2K was the first movie marketed exclusively on Rachel Zegler's star power. It was the first time a Hollywood studio said, come see this Rachel Zegler movie. And the movie-going public loudly and proudly said no. It's not a surprise given Zegler's outlandish, childish behavior since she was cast as Snow White for Disney. She immediately arrived on the scene with a chip on her shoulder, as if challenging the world to take issue with a Hispanic woman playing Snow White. She felt the need to clarify that she wouldn't be changing who she is anytime soon. Cringy interviews, stuff like that, including likening herself to priceless sculptures. I didn't know she did that. That's wild. She's trying to say that she's priceless art. I didn't even know she did that. That's crazy. And then she got involved with big political situations this year. And then, of course, what I think was the last straw, that unhinged meltdown she had about Trump and his supporters, which is the first time she's ever come out and apologized to anybody, by the way. I think that was pretty much it. This Snow White movie's in trouble. This is Rachel's star power. About $2.1 million. So, Disney's had some wins this year. They had Deadpool and Wolverine. They had Inside Out 2. And they had Moana 2. But I don't think it's going to end very well for them this year. It's kind of off subject, but let's just touch on it a little bit. That Mufasa movie comes out next week. So here's the preview of next week's content. Let's see what happens with Mufasa versus Sonic 3, which, by the way, launch on the same day. So Mufasa versus Sonic 3 is the big Hollywood showdown this weekend. And looking at these first reactions, I don't know if Sonics are out yet. I don't know if there's any Sonic 3 reviews, but these Mufasa reviews are kind of brutal. Mufasa the Lion King, Disney's hero, gets a craven woke makeover. If you go over to Rotten Tomatoes and you take a look at the tomato meter, because we're not going to get audience scores until the movie comes out, which starts Thursday. But yikes, man. I did not expect to see them hate on this movie. 57% rotten. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're right about this one. This movie sucks. I haven't even seen it, right? But I'm pretty confident that it's going to be bad. I didn't like the first Lion King that was live action either. I never saw the point. It's not even live action. It's CGI. There's no humans in it. It's all CGI animals. Like, doesn't that defeat the purpose of live action? You just take a camera and go out into the desert or the jungle or whatever. Is that what you're doing with this movie? And then you add in the animals? I just never got the point because the animated one is so good. The first Lion King, the animated one, is a fantastic movie. One of Disney's best back when they used to make a lot of bangers. And, this is the problem with these live actions. Most of them, in fact, all of them, from what I've seen, never live up to the original. sometimes you just don't need to make a live action version of everything. But this one, I have no confidence in this. Pretty sure it's probably going to be terrible. So we'll see what happens with this one. Personally, I'm kind of hoping Sonic pummels him, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.